Hi everyone. It's been a long time. It's been so long since I've recorded a video. I have to get back into it. Today is March 19th. It's St. Joseph's Day. That's what today is. So, what I did was I had a request um, from my daughter-in-law for my meatball recipe. And I don't I don't have a recipe. I don't measure when I cook most of the time unless I'm following someone else's recipe. So what I did was uh, I just made some meatballs and recorded it. And I don't have a good camera setup, so it's a little wonky, but it gets the point across. So, it's Tuesday. Let's make meatballs.
I don't know if the beginning of this got recorded or not because my camera just went off. I'm making meatballs. I'm using lean ground beef from Walmart, 93% lean, 7% fat. I put in salt and pepper. And the reason I can't tell you how much is because I just shake salt, and then almost as much pepper, but not quite. Then instead of putting onions and garlic in the meatballs, I use onion powder and garlic powder. So here's your onion powder. You don't have to worry about, it's probably about 4 shakes back and forth. And then I put in garlic powder. The onion powder, oh, it's a new one. The onion powder smells really good because it's hitting the meat, and the meat's somewhat, this would happen. Here we go. I hate it when I'm not really prepared. Okay. I haven't been making videos for a while, so this is a dry run. Just about as much garlic powder. I shake it over the stuff and then shake it back. I think that's the best way I can measure it. I throw in some basil leaves. Usually I try to have my fresh basil leaves, but I've used up all my fresh dried basil leaves. There's about 12 shakes because they're big, they don't come out as easily. I put some parsley flakes, doesn't matter how much, just to give it color. There's a little bit of flavor in there, parsley. And then sometimes I put I'm not gonna put them today. Sometimes I put the rosemary, but today I'm not. I'm gonna put that in the sauce. And then Italian seasoning, a bit of this. All right, so those are my seasonings. The next thing I do is put in some Italian style panko breadcrumbs. Again, I don't know how many. I just look at it in relation to the meat. Let's say I kind of cover up the meat, sorta. That's probably enough. It's not quite half the can. I might be a little too much this time, but I think that looks pretty good with this. Then I put in an egg, just one egg, and the tiniest little amount of milk, any kind of milk. You don't have to put the milk, but I just do, like, it's probably not even a tablespoon. Let's call it a tablespoon. Tablespoon of milk. Then, when you have all your jewelry off, you go in, I'm gonna see if I can do it. Okay, here we go. And you just mix it all together. That's it. That's how I make meatballs. As you're mixing it, if you think you need more breadcrumbs, because you've eaten meatballs before, you probably can tell how much breadcrumbs or panko, whatever you want to use, cracker crumbs. You could use Ritz crackers, I suppose. If I would have been all out of panko, I might have done that. But it smells kind of Italian at this point because of all the seasonings. So you just put in all these, you just give it a good mix till you really can't notice the panko anymore. Sorry, the camera's shaking. I'm hitting the tripod. I know, I'm just silly. But I thought I'd make meatballs today, and it's kind of fun to try and do this and record it at the same time. I hope it's recording. Okay. All right, that's pretty much mixed. You'll see, as you kind of squish it around, you might see big streams or big lines of panko. Just mix it all in. So now it doesn't look like much breadcrumbs with all that amount I put in because it's evenly dispersed. So this is good. Now what I do, I don't make big meatballs because I'm usually late. So I make small meatballs so that they'll cook faster. And I also brown them. And then, and then I'll show you my trick with the tomato sauce. Might as well go the whole route, right? So here we are making the meatballs. I'll be back when I've got this pot done. Okay, this might be take two, or this might have not recorded. What you missed, you didn't really miss. I just showed you my skillet with a little bit of olive oil and chopped garlic, which I let heat at a medium heat. And then I stuck all the meatballs in, tried to make them all similar sizes so that they would cook evenly. And now I'm just browning them. It doesn't take long. So you can see this is really quick. People think you slave all day on spaghetti and meatballs. Well, no. You can make the meatballs really quick by just throwing in your flavorings and not having to chop onions and garlic and whatever else you want to. Unless you have nothing to do all day, but I always have something I have to get to. So here are the meatballs. They smell really good. Let's see if we're still recording. I'm trying to brown meatballs and not cook the legs of the tripod of the camera. All right, this is pretty good. I mean, they're not totally browned. You don't have to go for totally brown. I'll turn them all over to the last red side, and then I'm going to show you my secret. It's not a secret. I'm sure a lot of people do it. Instead of putting in tomato paste and tomato sauce and tomatoes and all the spices, what I do, I always have a couple of jars of ragu in the cupboard. The old ragu. I get the traditional style. Sometimes, and there's some olive oil in it. Smells really good. It's not as good as my sauce, but it's good. It's good if you're in a hurry. So now that you have these pretty much all browned, I put in. Now you turn the heat down. I put in a jar of ragu. And I always put in about a third of a jar of water. Shake it all up to make sure you get all the spicy goodness that was in there. And put that in. So depending on how much sauce you like with your pasta, this could possibly be enough. But my husband was raised Italian. There's never enough sauce. He's always needing more sauce. So I'm going to let these cook in the sauce for a while. And then I'm going to take those spices that I already put in the meatballs. If you do this if you scrape your pan, like with, this is teak or wood, and it might be bamboo. It doesn't matter. Whatever kind of wooden spoon you have, because I don't like to use metal. Because then I scratch up my pans and I don't have to. This just kind of, if there was anything that stuck, like little bits of meat or the garlic, the browned garlic, this gets it all separated. And now we have this cooking. And I just go back and take a few of my spices, especially the Italian seasoning. Again, everything comes from Walmart. Walmart's my closest store here. And I always want what I want. And if I don't feel like going all the way over to Stop and Shop or Price Right, because sometimes Price Right doesn't have everything. Those are the only markets I have around me. I don't like to go for more parsley, of course. You can add salt and pepper again if you want to. I don't. My husband says I cook bland. You saw the amount of salt I put in there the first time. Pretty sure you saw it, unless it didn't record. And this is basil. And one thing you can do, I like to do, is to take a little tiny amount of sugar and just put a little. just the tiniest amount of sugar in your sauce. Sweeten it up. It kind of wards against the acidity of the tomatoes. Turn the heat up a little now. And we'll let this simmer. And it doesn't have to simmer all day because this sauce is already sauce. It doesn't have to turn into sauce like when you're doing tomato paste and tomatoes. So, smells pretty good already. So now, my husband will be coming home for lunch. And he's going to think I really put myself out and made him meatballs today. He'll usually say, "Di, I'll make the pasta for you. This is great." So, yeah, that's how I get him to make the pasta. But he can cook pasta perfectly, much better than I can. So that's the quick way of my way of making meatballs and sauce. And if you like more sauce, just take one more can of ragu and put it on top. Simmer for as long as you want. You can simmer for probably 30 minutes and they're done. But I always cut one in half and make sure that it's cooked on the inside. And if it is, the dog gets that one and he gets all excited. So yeah, that's what I do. Oh, but don't give your dogs the sauce. Tomatoes aren't good for dogs. I rinse it. After I see if it's cooked, I rinse it. I rinse the tomato sauce off of it and then I let them eat it. So that's that. Thanks for watching. And Jess, I hope that helps with how I make meatballs. Oh yeah, and I do the exact same thing for the chicken, for ground chicken, as I do as the ground beef for the chicken balls. Okay, see you next time. Bye.